Hello, members. Oh my goodness, it's been forever. I know I went away. I don't know. I had some technical issues up Akule. I had some production issues. A little more, but anyway, my life just got over me, and that's why I stopped posting. But I have not stopped. My passion has not gone away. It's still there, and I decided to come back because everybody from in church, at home, in my DMs. By the way, thank you so much for everybody who reached out to find out ilienda wapi. You know, thank you so much. So I'm glad I'm here. I am happy I'm back to doing this. I thank God because it's not by might, it's not by power, but it's just by the power of God that I'm here. And so that I'm back in this space, I thank God, and I plan and pray that I'll stay here longer so that I am able to give you more content according to how God places it in my heart. Okay. And that being said, I'm happy to be back. For some reason nilikuwa tunaboeka, like every time wanafika nahitaji kushoot, and I'm like, mbona sasa si shoot, what's wrong with me? The way you scold yourself, and I'm like, I should be shooting. Why am I not shooting? And every weekend, sometimes I'm not even doing anything. Sometimes I'm just chilling at home and I'm not shooting. And it hit me that it takes the hand of God for some of these things to happen. You see, the enemy is also not happy with me giving such kind of videos, me sharing and empowering women, me giving out what the Lord has put in my heart. And so in that process, He'll do everything in His power to put me down so that I'm not able to post. So I thank God for the courage to be able to finally do it, and for just the opportunity to be able to do it. And I really, really pray. It's a prayer item, by the way. I even prayed about it, that I'll be able to do this more often than I do, and I can be able to reach more women, and also help me, encourage me, niandikia ka DM hapo hivyo, what you think. If you need me to talk about something, but I'm prompted more when I see somebody telling me, I want you to talk about this, I want you to talk about this, I'm struggling with this. So if you tell me that, I'll go do my research and then I'll come with my thoughts on it, so I'll have something to say. I'll have somebody to reach out to. So it's a good encouragement. But other than that, I know God has put me here for a reason, and I know somebody somewhere wants to hear this. And so I am going to put it out there for that person. Even if it's just one person, I'm okay with that one person. So when you get this video, please don't keep it, share it so that it gets to that person that it was meant for. Okay? I'm sure kuna mtu anahitaji, na kama ni wewe, please DM, text me, send a message, comment down below, tell me that message was for me. I'll be so grateful, and it gives me the morale to keep going on and on and on. And so today I'm going to be talking to mothers who have daughters, grown daughters, young daughters, whatever, however the age it is, because the marriages of today, let me tell you something. I ran my house how my mom ran her house. Okay? And so how she ran it was venye alikuwa anafanya everything, from venye alikuwa anaweka vyombo, from venye alikuwa anafua, from venye alikuwa anapika, from everything that I do today in my house. I do it because of how I saw my mom doing it. Okay? How I handle my husband, it's more or less the way I saw my mom handling her own husband. Okay? And so things that she could not take as a wife, I can't take today. Some of the things that she used to say, lazima upikie mzee, umpakule in a certain type of way, lazima utreat, there's a way she used to treat my dad, and I find myself doing exactly that. In fact, just the other day I was looking at myself, I was like, I think I just grew into my mom. I'm just a younger version of my mom, because half of the things she did when we were growing up, the ones that I saw her do, that's how I know how they are done. Vitu zenye kama kupika, in the system in which vile alikuwa anapika, half some of the things I cook today, I cook the exact same way alikuwa anapika, because hapo ndo niliona zikipikwa. How I handle my children, how okay, let me say, my mom alikuwa hakuna kukaa nje after 6 p.m. if you're a child. She does not care what you're doing, if you're in school tomorrow or not. After 6 p.m. you come into the house, you take a shower, sit in the house, giza isikupate nje as a child. And that was engraved in my mind. And to date, my children, in fact, I think I even took it a notch back. My children by 4:35 ameingia kwa nyumba, baridi impati nje, giza impati nje, anaingia kwa nyumba, anaoga, anakaa akiwa msafi until the next day, no going out again. But it's weird because I go out and I see children outside at 7, at 6, at 8. Kuna watoto wanacheza nje, na in my head I'm like, watoto wako aje? Why are they so strange? You know, why are they outside at 8? Unaelewa? But I understand that it's the upbringing. You know, hata wale watoto wako kwa barabara pale Ngong Road, wanaombaomba pesa kwa watu wakipita kwa barabara. That is something they do. They grew up seeing. Maybe their parents were there wakiombaomba, so then they came and they went right with it, you know. And so guess what? Their children will also be there. They will not mind because that is how they've been brought up. And now, I'm not saying everything, literally everything that my mom did is what I do today, but half of the things, so much of what I do today is based on how my mom was and how she handled her home. And so this brings out a very significant part of my character today, you see. And so I wanted to speak to mothers because I realized that what we do with ourselves today is what our children will do with their lives tomorrow. So the way you keep your house, the way my mom ulikuwa ukiamka asubuhi, kitu ya kwanza tandika kitanda, make sure your bed is neat, looking good. The other thing was, alikuwa tuambia ukiamka, the first thing, wash your face. You know, those were some of the small traits that she had. Ukifungwa tu macho asubuhi, the first thing before you do anything, wash your face before you speak to anybody, and wash uso na brush meno. And that was engraved in my mind that to date, even my children, you know, ukiamka hata usiongee na mimi, enda straight ka brush meno, wash your face, then you can come into the living room and tell us what it is, you know. Before you speak to anybody, before you leave your room, make your bed. That is something that was engraved in us, you know, and I took it with me to my life today, and that's how I also bring up my children. So today I tell my children, hey, before you leave your room, when you wake up in the morning, make your bed. Don't come into the sitting room to take breakfast and your bed is all messy. And so those are some of the things that I caught when I was a small child, and they were engraved in me and became a character in my life and became a daily thing for me. And right now, they are now, they're things I can't stay without. They're habits I have not left behind. And when I'm telling you this why? Because there are traits that we might engrave in our children without knowing that we're engraving in them. Like, for example, marriages that are breaking today. Do you know that 80% of children who have been brought up in single mothers' homes, or rather 80% of children who have seen, you know, who are in a family and then it broke in between. Research shows that 80% of them end up in the same place. Even them, they'll do exactly the same in their families, and they'll end up losing their families because where we come from is a big deal. It's a big deal, you know. And so we need to start shaping the future of our children by how we live our lives today. Okay? And about marriage, now, if I want my child to have a good life in her marriage, I need to show it to her right now. You know, now I have a teenager. She's now a grown up. She's no longer a teenager. She's a fully grown girl. I talk to her, and some of the things I let her see in my marriage is because I want her to see that it's not all roses. It's not all happy. It's not all, you know, fun and games. Sometimes there are hard times that come in, and as a woman, this is how I handled it. And I would like for you to handle your home in the same way. And I'll show her, this is what happened. Nilifanya hivi, nikafanya hivi, na nikachoma, and then your dad, my husband, alikuja akazusha, you know, and this is how I handled that situation. And I expect you also when you grow up, and I don't even tell her to expect you. Me, I'll just be doing my thing, letting her know and see what I'm doing. Out of that, she is learning. She's learning. So when she grows up, she will use it in her own life. Unaona sasa how we are doing it. You're subconsciously sliding that idea into her mind unknowingly. So she does not know, but she knows. Unaelewa? And so they say a child is best shown than taught. Unaweza mwambia kila saa wacha, but wewe ukiacha yeye ataacha. Unaona? And so I wanted us to speak majorly on marriage, because these other traits, they exist. Yes, kosha nyumba, how I wash my house is exactly how my mom washed hers, how I panga my vyombo is in the kitchen, maybe with just a little touch of modernization, but ukiangalia tu utapata tu it's more or less the same how I do my things. But now hapa kwa marriage, people forget. You can teach your children mambo za nyumba vizuri, utamfunza zote hizo, but kwa marriage, how do you handle your marriage? How do you speak to your husband in front of your children? Because they are seeing and they are learning. And for you to be able to speak to your husband in front of them, you must. It has to be a habit you've created, that you do even when watoto hawako. That's how you speak to this man. So hata if they overhear you kama mko huko kwa bedroom, they know that's you. Hivyo ndo unaongeaga, and so don't hide anything about yourself. So how you handle your man matters a lot. Okay, it matters a lot, because that's how your child is going to handle her man. Okay, and so you cannot handle your man by shouting at him. You cannot handle your man by being disrespectful. And I show my child, and sometimes she tells me, mom, kama hiyo ndo marriage ni sitaki. And I tell her that hiyo ndo marriage. Unfortunately, that is marriage. You have to be able to endure. And if you cannot endure such things, I'll tell her this and this happened, and this is how I handled it. She would ask me, and I'll tell her. And if you can't handle it like that, then you better stop it, because it's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of endurance. It's a whole lot of patience. It's a whole lot of adabu. It's a whole lot of submission. It's a whole lot. All these things are in place. And so if you're not ready to do any of that, I'd suggest stay where you are. Don't even bother, because always run marriage bila hizo vitu zote. And I'll show her how mine has worked, and I'll show her today tumekosana nini, tomorrow we are laughing in the house, and she's like, I'm like, yes, that's how marriage works. Today we will fight, tomorrow we will be happy, and that's every day. And the moment you fight and you don't go back to being happy, then there's a problem. You have to have a forgiving heart. And so for you, if you're telling her you have to have a forgiving heart, she has to see you forgiving. She has to see you people fighting. She has to see how you fight and how you resolve it. And so then it comes to your integrity in the family as you fight. How do you fight? Venye mnapigana matters a lot, because inafundisha huyu mtoto vitu. So point is, how you handle your marriage is exactly how your child will handle her marriage. And let us create marriages that will last. Don't hide anything from your children, especially after they are fully grown. Do not hide, because that is how they learn. How you do things in your house is how your child will do things in her house. So teach her vizuri. Work on yourself, because you cannot give your child what you don't have. Work on yourself. Work on your habits. Work on your behavior. Work on your tongue. Work on your patience, your forgiveness, all these things that make you a wife. Work on them, because it's a plus. If you work on yourself as a person, you get to give your husband the best version of you. And as you're giving your husband the best version of you, you're still teaching your child apakando how to become the best version of herself. And so in future, you'll have a child who is reliable, who is respectable, who is reputable, who is responsible. Ukimwachilia enda kwa world, you know exactly what you're giving into the world. Si hao watoto wajua kitu kinaendelea. Nyinyi mnafanyanga kila kitu mumeficha. Hakuna kitu mtoto anajua. So when she's grown and she has to go have her own home, ajui anzie wapi, ajui afanye nini, because she has never seen these things kwao vitu zilikuwa mute. Hapo mtu anaongeleshaga mwingine, baba na mama wanaendanga kwa room, wanafunga mlango, wanaongea kwa mjoga, wanasemanga nini. It's just, you can't have such kind of a life, especially when you have grown children. Show them from around teenagehood, from high school upwards. They need to see these things. They need to know what exactly is happening, because in that you are teaching. Shawa. My name is Miriam Dulo, and this is still Sister Talk. I plan to stay longer, so please msipote. Go bring more people. I have more content for you, more content to awaken us, more content to make us do better in life, have better habits, have better choices in life. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I gather, I like to learn new things every day, and some of these new things help me. I speak to people who have gone through these things, and they tell me from experience, I wish I did this, and this. And so that thing that they wish they did is what I want to do, so that I don't end up the same way they ended up. And so that's how I go. I collect nuggets in life. I go collecting, and keeping, and using what needs to be used. What does not need to be used, I throw away. I make mistakes, yes, a lot, and I learn from those mistakes. And so if I make a mistake today, tomorrow I don't repeat that mistake, because I have learned from it. And when I've learned from something, I come up on here and I tell you people about it, because that's what sisterhood is. Let's create a platform where we can be free, we can be open, we can learn, we can change our habits. Let me say something. I'm so for that woman wa kitambo, only modernized, akwe tu amesoma na akwe ako empowered financially, maybe spiritually, akwe spiritual. But I am for that old mama, you know, the one for kitambo, the one that akiambiwa na mzee anasikia, akifanya nini anasikia, watoto wake amewaweka vizuri, anawatandika wakimisbehave, anawaweka vizuri, wako na adabu, wako na heshima, wakikuja kwa matatu, wakipanda waone wazee wanasimama, wazee wanakaa chini juu ni watoto wamefunzwa. That is the kind of woman that I want to bring out in these our talks. And so if you're that kind of woman, join me. And that kind of woman does not mean the ule amekaliwa, ule mwenye hajasoma, ule mwenye her place is in the kitchen only, ule mwenye, no. That woman is the woman that is learned, yes. The woman that has her own money, yes. You realize the Proverbs 31 woman is actually not a very lazy woman, like people tend to think. It's not a woman that amekaliwa. The Proverbs 31 woman akona plots, akona biashara, akona mambo zake za kufanya. Yani si mwanamke ameparara hapo amejiekelea sijui. And that's the kind of woman that I want us to become. And on top of all that, after we've empowered ourselves with all that, still submit to a man if you are willing to get married, because marriage is optional. So if you're still willing to get married, have all that, but still submit under a man with all that. Usikue na hiyo hotel alafu ndo ndakalia wanaume. That is not the kind of woman I want to raise here. I want us to raise, yes, you're empowered, yes, you're independent, but you can't live, you know, we can't live kanyaga watu ati because we feel you are, you know, tunajiweza tu sisi ndio wale. No, we can have all that and still be respected in the society, still have a man over our heads who guides and has authority over us, just like God created us to be. So if you're that kind of woman, please join me. Let us build this tribe. Let us build this nation. Let us have this group of people who are we are going to spread this word to other women, and we're going to have a nation that has women who are respectable. We can do it. The same way tu tuliharibika ndo tutarudi tujitengeneze. It took us to spoil us. So it will still take us to raise and bring us back to the old us. My name is Miriam Dolo. Tuonane. On to the next one.